Hi, I'm Cynthia Lucas, coming to you live and uncensored from the couch here in my home in sunny Tampa Bay, Florida, doing an interview for iHeartBooks. I am the author of 3 romance novels, first one being When Lightning Strikes, and we have its sequel, which is actually a prequel, Quicksilver Moon, and Blood from a Stone. And before we go any further with this interview, I want to just take a moment to express my deepest thanks and my appreciation to iHeartBooks for all you guys do in promoting not only my books and all the support you've given me, but to all the great authors out there whose books you tirelessly promote, the great reads, and just promoting the gift of reading. I really, truly appreciate it, and I thank you guys so much for all the support and friendship you guys have given me since I befriended you on Facebook. When we started, I remember before you guys even had a couple dozen likes, and now you're up to 3,000, and I just want to congratulate you and thank you so much for everything you do. Now, we will go ahead and get started with the interview part of this interview. And the first thing is that you guys have asked me to please tell you a little bit about my book, When Lightning Strikes. This, again, is the book, When Lightning Strikes. And this book, I like to call this my little book that could. It's pretty much a miracle book. It's just been a whirlwind. This book was originally written, the original manuscript, several years ago. And when I first released it, it was self-published. I had presented it to a few agents and publishers, and they had told me, this story will never sell, nobody's going to be interested in it, it's trite, it's been done too many times, whatever. And so I decided to go ahead and self-publish it. Well, the first edition, I sold a handful of copies, maybe, that went out to, friends and family and whatever. And then in 2010, I decided to upgrade the story and re-edit it, reissue it, brand new cover, and I re-released it. And in the past year or so, past 18 months, this book has just taken off like a rocket. It was #1 just a couple months ago in Time Travel Romances on Amazon.com. It was a #1 bestseller. It has been a top 10, top 20, top 30 bestseller now consistently for the past 5 or 6 months. And I am so blessed and so grateful for that gift, and I thank all of my readers who have picked up a copy and read this book. The book itself is pretty much it's a time travel romance, and it is the story of a girl who, on the night before her wedding, her mom gives her a family heirloom, a gypsy good luck charm, and tells her that if she sleeps with it under her pillow all night, she will know her heart's desire. And our heroine does not believe in all that gypsy hocus pocus crap. And needless to say, a bolt of lightning and a big gust of wind later, she finds herself in the year 1363 and in the arms of our leading man, Dominic de Barbaron, who is the leader of a band of gypsies. And I'm not going to tell you too much about the story because I'm hopeful that some of you will pick it up if you have not already and read it. But it is filled with a lot of action and adventure and just a great all-around story if you like that and if you love time travel romances. So that pretty much sums up When Lightning Strikes, and it has been given a 4-star rating by Indetail magazine. So, and it's gotten some great reader reviews too on Amazon. So check it out, When Lightning Strikes. Next question. Jeanette wants to know, what made you want to do time travel romance? Basically, I myself have enjoyed a lot of time travel romances, and the very first romance novels that I read, some of them were time travel. And I really enjoy, even to this day, my favorite kinds of movies, my favorite kinds of books. Any kind of story that I really like is usually a story that takes you out of present time and away to some kind of fantasy environment, whether it's fairy tale or science fiction or a combination of those things. Something that's, just totally fantasy that takes me out of this world and into another for a couple of hours. I get a great escape. And basically that's just pretty much what I wanted to bring to my readers. And so every time I write a story that does that, I'm hopeful that that's what I will do. Okay, so next question. Kristen wants to know, do you have a certain writing ritual you do before you get into the writing mode? For that one, I'm going to have to say no, I do not, other than being on the couch or in my office or in my bare feet or my pajamas or whatever makes me comfortable. I pretty much am very open on that one. I know there's a lot of writers that they have to have exactly the right setting to write or be in the right room, or they go through certain things that help them get in the frame of mind. But for me, my personal philosophy is just I allow the story to just bubble to the surface and come out as it will, you know. And my family will tell you, sometimes, you know, I go for spells where I don't write. I'll even not write for, you know, days or whatever. And then if an idea really starts to take over and starts to bubble out of me, then I may just escape into my office, or I may come in here and sit down with my laptop, and, you know, I may spend hours and hours just unexpectedly because it's just flowing through me and coming out. And that's just pretty much the only thing I allow to happen. I realize that there are some writers where they have deadlines they have to meet and so forth, which makes it a lot more difficult to just allow a story to happen because you have to make it happen. And for that one, I don't really know what to say. Since I'm self-published and I release things when I want to, I have the luxury of just making my own deadlines and allowing a story to come to the surface as it does. And not to say that I don't set deadlines for myself, because I will. I will set a release date when I want to release something, and then I make sure I get the story done. If I do need some inspiration, I just kind of get into the mindset of the characters and think it through, like, where would this story go, and just get a feeling, you know, in here. But basically it all just comes right out of here, and I just let it come as it will. Okay, next question. Jeanette wants to know, where did the concept of gypsies come from? You know what? On that one, beats the hell out of me. I have absolutely no clue other than, like I said, I just allow a story to come out and bubble to the surface and be exactly what it is. And the Lightning series, when lightning strikes, that's just what that story was meant to be. And so I allowed it to be that. And, you know, I would also say, I don't see any resemblance there, do you? Amanda wants to know, if you can travel back in time, what era would you visit? Well, for me personally, I'm a very open-minded thinker, and I have done a lot of studying in alternative schools of thought, alternative creation theories, and all that kind of stuff. And I think that if I were going to choose an era to go back to, it wouldn't be anything that's human history. I would want to go like all the way back to the beginning. First off, I'd want to know, how did we get here? I'd actually want to go to the mother of all eras and find out, okay, were we brought here? Did we evolve here? Were we created here? Where did we actually come from? So that probably would be it, and maybe even take it a step further and go all the way back to the Big Bang, because I'd want to know, how did this universe get started? So I guess you couldn't really say it's an era. Instead, it would just be, I'd want to know the ultimate answers of the universe kind of thing. Leave it to me, right? Okay, next question, and I've been waiting for this one. Amanda wants to know, who is your favorite author? Basically, it depends on what genre I'm reading. Like I said, I study a lot of different kinds of things, and I also read a lot of fiction, nonfiction, when I'm not writing and when I have time. So it just pretty much depends on what I'm reading or what I'm studying. But for the purposes of keeping this interview less than like 2 hours long, I will just stick with the romance genre. When it comes to romance, some of the things that have really affected me or influenced me or, you know, brought me to where I am are the classics. And if I'm going to pick favorite authors, I'm going to stick with the classics with them. And I actually found a treasure trove of stuff that I pulled out specifically for this interview. And this involves, I have 3 boxes of books that I had in storage, and they are all classic editions from the 1990s and before too, of the original covers on the romance novels and such, including the very first romance novel I ever read. And I have it right here. This is Tanya Ann Crosby, and it is a book called Viking's Prize. And this was the very first romance novel that I ever read. And this was my Lord of the Sith that took me down, you know, the dark side, if you will. And once I read this, I was just hooked. I was hooked on romance novels. At that point, I didn't think about writing one of my own. It hadn't really crossed my mind to do that. But I don't know what it was, but it just, like everybody that reads these, you get addicted, and there you go. But as you can see, this is well worn, and actually this book is out of print. You can't get this anymore. So this is like kind of a treasure, really, because this is a classic edition book, original cover. You cannot get it anymore except in used bookshops and so forth. You know, you can probably find it online somewhere, but you can't just like go on Amazon or somewhere and order this. So this is my prize right here, Tanya Ann Crosby, Viking's Prize. And ladies, nowadays, you know, there's so many great books out there and so many great authors, including, you know, newer school romance writers and, you know, erotica and so forth. If I were going to pick one of my favorite books of all time, this is a classic, and she is a classic, and it is Virginia Henley, and this book is called Desired. And before there was Christian Grey, there was a romance hero named Christian Hawksblood. And this book, for some reason, just really, really stood out to me when I read it. I fell in love with it, and as you can see, the cover is, again, very well worn because this is circa early 1990s, or possibly mid-90s. And we have our hot hero on the inside, which I will bring over here. And I just lost my mic, so I got to clip it back on. I told you this is live and uncensored. Anyway, back to this. This is Virginia Henley, Desired, and this is the original cover of this book. Original edition. For all of you guys out there that like the shapeshifters kind of books, that's real big right now. There's a lot of those out that are being sold, and they've been around for a while too. This is the very first shapeshifter novel that I ever read, and this one too is circa 1990s, and it even has the nifty 3D cover where the eyes move back and forth when you turn the book. And it is, my cats are fighting on camera. This is called Heart Surrender by Kathleen Morgan. And this one really caught my attention too. I have a few shapeshifters books, but this one's great. So you may want to check it out, another classic. We have tons and tons of vampire and werewolf stories out on the market these days as well. This is the first werewolf book that I ever read. And I love this book. This one stood out in my mind. This is just great. This one hooked me on werewolf stories. And in fact, this is a series. It's by an author named Susan Crenard. And this one's the first one in the series. It's called Prince of Wolves. And I highly recommend it. It's a great book. Check it out. Now this, actually I'm going to wait to show you this one. I have like 3 boxes of these things, so I could go on for an hour, but I won't. But there's just so many wonderful authors in here that are classic authors. Shannon Drake, Ashlyn Price, Bertree Small, we have Victoria Alexander, Madeline Baker. Madeline Baker writes the best Native American romances. They're just awesome. Teresa Medeiros, she's another one. I love her books. Great stuff. Heather Graham. And then we have Joanna and Lindsay, and I brought this one out just because this is a great classic Fabio cover here. Here on the inside of this one we have Fabio, and for all of you that remember when Fabio was the romance novel guy that did so many covers, before Jimmy Thomas, and Jimmy is just another thing, he's just dynamic. I don't even know what to say. He's done more covers than anybody in history, but back then it was Fabio. And Joanna Lindsay is another great author you may want to check out. Classic. And then this one, this morning I had quite the experience, and I even was telling my husband that it's surreal, and it was a very emotional one for me. Right now, even to this day, if you go on time travel romances on Amazon.com and you look them up, you will find Karen Marie Moaning, and there are so many people that love her books. She is a classic. She's new, but she's also classic. And this book right here is Beyond the Highland Mist. And this beautiful, this gorgeous, I'm going to get up again so I can show you this without losing my mic. This gorgeous cover is the original cover that the edition that I got. And I think this is from 1999 maybe, somewhere around there, mid-1990s. But this is the cover that was on Beyond the Highland Mist now. And the reason that this made me so emotional this morning is that I frequently, because I'm self-published, I check my stats. I check, where am I on the charts? Where am I on the bestsellers list? How many books am I selling, et cetera, et cetera. And this morning I went on Amazon Time Travel Romances, and Karen Marie Moaning was at number 21. And I scrolled down the page, and just maybe not even 10 books down, this book right here is on the same page, just a few positions down from this author that many years ago I read her books, and she affected me in some way. She's a classic that I just totally related to, and it meant so much to me. And little did I know that 15 years later, there I would be. And that was just really, truly an emotional moment for me. So I'm going to end off this portion of the interview with these classics. I can't recommend, ladies, if you love classic works, just read some of these. Writing has changed so much over the years, but it's always great to go back and just take a look at these. If for nothing else, some of these gorgeous covers. These beautiful covers that, they're timeless. So enjoy. Kristen wants to know, what current projects do you have in the works? Well, I can promise you that I have at least one book coming out in 2013, possibly two, depending on how much I get done. We'll just see. I'm not going to tell you anything about any of the stories, but I do have 3 different manuscripts all in process right now, and I have my eye on one of them that I really want to be the main one that I get done for this year. And I'm excited about it. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm not going to tell you the title or anything about it, just simply because I want to keep it quiet, and original and that kind of thing. But hopefully all my readers and all of you out there will enjoy it as much as the other stories I've written. Jeanette wants to know, what do you do in your spare time when you're not writing? And that's a good question, because I have a lot of extracurricular activities that I do. First off, we are avid animal lovers in this house, and we have a lot of pets. We have 9 cats, 4 dogs, 2 macaws, and we have various wildlife, including a lot of baby squirrels that come through here during hurricane season and storm season that people call and bring me because they have learned that I know how to rehab them and release them. So every year we pretty much do a lot of that. This beautiful girl right here is a 14-year-old green-winged macaw, and her name is Sundance. And I have had her since she was 12 weeks old. I actually finished hand feeding her, and she's just been the most wonderful bird. She is very noisy, and so is the other macaw that we have. She's a little bit more testy, so I did not bring her in because the two of them don't get along so well when they're too close together. But this girl here, she's a joy, and she's beautiful, basically a show quality bird, a wonderful companion bird, very curious and intelligent. And these birds are just absolutely gorgeous. You gonna dance? Dance. You gonna dance for the camera? Show them how you dance. And of course, she won't perform for you when I ask her to, but at least you got to see her on camera. When I'm not taking care of animals, the other love of my life besides writing, probably first and foremost before writing, because I have been doing it for my entire life, is making music. I am a professional musician, singer, songwriter. I have a band. My band is called North to South. We play most weekends in and around Tampa Bay area. We play a lot of cover music. We do write originals and perform that too. You can look us up. We're on Facebook. The band is called North and the number 2, South. And we just have a blast doing it. There's nothing more rewarding to me that I love than making music when I'm not writing. And I just found out today that my band is going to be playing outside Ruth Eckerd Hall on the East Side stage before the Hall & Oates concert here on March the 6th. We are doing this for the second time. We did it last year when they performed, and we have performed out there before a lot of concerts. Earth, Wind & Fire, Styx, Rock of Ages show. You know, we periodically do them, and it's so much fun. It's just such a joy and a reward in my life. And those are my passions. I love writing, I love making music, and I love animals. So there you have it. Okay, Kristen wants to know, how has other creative outlets affected your writing? Basically, I would say that they are separate entities. If anything, I don't really think they affect each other at all. The reason that I got into writing books is because I wanted to have more of a creative outlet, being a lyricist and so forth. I wanted to be able to express myself in more than just a 4-minute song. So it just kind of felt like a natural progression to want to be able to tell stories and move into ways to be able to just tell things on a grander scale. So it was just kind of a natural thing for me to move from songwriting into writing books. And who knows where it'll go from here. But pretty much I don't think that they affect each other. I kind of keep them, they're sort of separate. They're each one their own thing. And I do each one of those things in their own style. Okay, Kristen wants to know, if you could make one of your male leads real, who would it be? That's actually a toughie because I really love all the characters that I write, and all 3 of the guys in all 3 of my books. They each have really amazing qualities, each one for who they are. And there's things about each one of them that I think are just really fabulous qualities. If I could pick one character that I wanted to make real, and in fact, hopefully, I hope someday that I could get this made into a screenplay and make him real, it would definitely be Samson Belmayne from Blood from a Stone. His character is just so special, and this story is really special. It's a very uplifting story from my heart to everyone who's ever needed or taken or given or been given a second chance and made it matter. I just love this story. I love the evolution that this character goes through. He's just so real, and he's grown so much through his ordeal and through his journey. And by the end, he's just this amazing man. So if I could bring somebody to life, it would definitely be him. And Jeanette, I'm telling you, if I ever get this into a screenplay, Chris Hemsworth. Chris Hemsworth. And last but not least, Cynthia Lucas, any last words for your readers at iHeartBooks? Absolutely. As you probably have figured out, I love to talk and I live to talk, and my husband will agree with that. He will tell you that I love to talk. But seriously, I want to express my deepest thanks to all my readers out there. Because of you guys, you're the reason that these books have been bestsellers on Amazon.com, and you're the reason why I write and share all these stories. And I just can't express enough my deepest gratitude and my thanks for all of the love and support you guys have given me. Again, I would like to thank iHeartBooks. You guys have just been wonderful. You have given me so much support and friendship since I hooked up with you guys. And I remember when you were just at a few dozen likes working on your first 100, and now here you are into the thousands. And congratulations on that. And thank you again, too, for using the cover of my book on your site banner. That was just such an honor. Thank you so much. To all of you out there, I know that there's some people who are involved with book sites and blog sites and book clubs and book lovers, all the book lover sites. There's some of you that are aspiring authors. And my message to you, and this is a really important message, is don't let anything stop you from achieving your dream. When I approached several different agents, some publishers and so forth, people in the business and experts and critics and who knows what else, with this book, with this manuscript, I was told it's trite, nobody's going to want to read it, or this has been done too much, or whatever. And if I had listened to them and allowed them to put that there for me and accepted that as that this is my fate, this is my final answer, this book would not have become a #1 bestseller in time travel on Amazon.com. It would not have been a top 10, a top 20, and even now, top 20s and top 30s bestsellers, for the last 4 or 5 months, and it wouldn't have been on the same page with, Karen Marie Moning's book this morning in bestsellers in time travel if I had listened. You are in the driver's seat, and it's all up to you what you want to accomplish. So if you want to make that dream happen, make it happen. Find a way. If one door closes, find another one. Or if you can't find one, build a door. Make a door. Make that door for yourself and get out there and walk through it. Because your destiny, it's up to you. I decided to go the self-publishing route, and I haven't looked back, nor have I regretted it. Yes, it requires a lot of time and treasure and effort in promotion and doing all the things that a publishing company would do for me. But the rewards for me personally have been great and many, because I'm in control of my own destiny. And you can be too. So all I can say is, for every one of you authors out there, find your path, whether it's through traditional publishing, or if you decide to go a smaller, more independent publishing company, or self-publishing. Just get your work out there. Believe in yourself. Go through all the right routes. Get your editing done. Get your covers done. Do everything just right, but get your work out there. And don't let anything stop you, because your dream is your dream. You're in control of it, and every decision that you make, you're responsible for. So, be responsible for being successful and achieving your dreams in life. And I'm going to end off with that. And again, thank you, everybody, and thank you, iHeartBooks, for having me do this interview.